Hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com, and today I finally have the Hedgehog Hollow February Kit to show you. Now this kit came out in February. I lost my voice. I wasn't able to share it, but look at these cute stamps. The love stamp, the paw prints. Here's a larger paw print and some love. This one with an infinity sign. So cute. So I wanted to share it with you today and show you all the goodies. This box is available as a one-off box now, and I'll link to it in the description below so you can check it out if you like it. But look at this, the paw prints and the dog bones right here. There's a 3 stencil set that came in this one. So there's the dog one. Here's one with kitties and little fish bones and paw prints, and then that heart that I showed you with a paw print. It comes with this entire pack of paper. This is printed with toner. So the black part of all of this is foilable, and the gray doesn't foil, but the black does. So on the backs you have all the large paw prints. We're going to use one of those today in our projects, but so many beautiful papers to use. And then also that came in the kit is this package of ephemera. And this is a first. I have never seen this in a Hedgehog Hollow box before. Here are some of them. There's a little hat, a cat in a hat, a couple of dogs, a hat with the tail coming out. There's a parakeet, a wagon. Here are some cards that I made because I've already used some of the ephemera, so I wanted to show you. Here's one with the little dog tail sticking out. I used the larger paw print with a really light ink on the background and then colored in the paw or the heart with a Copic marker, stamped that love with some green ink to match the hat, popped it up with some foam tape there, and add a little glitter, of course, of which I love to do, you know. Here's one of the cat ephemeras that came in the kit. I inked up some of the paper from the kit and white heat embossed that love on some blue paper. So that was really fun. And then with the stencils, I've already made a few cards. And so here they are, this one with the cat. And I did some selective stenciling here. I did the cats in pink, the paw prints in orange, and the little fish bones in gray. Then I took that heart and did part of the heart stencil on this one. Stamped out the love, added a glitter heart and some glitter tape there. So there's our cat card. And then with the dog stencil, I also did some selective stenciling with some blues and greens. And then I have this little dog from one of the first Hedgehog Hollow kits ever. I still love that little sheepdog, so I thought I'd add him. And then here I used the right side of this heart stencil, inked that up with some black ink, and added a little heart to the center of the paw print. So much fun. Oh, and not to forget, but this bone folder also came in the kit. It's a Teflon bone folder, has a really nice sharp point and a really great angle to the end there. And that's my new bone folder I use all the time. So today we're going to make a couple of projects, an art journal and a card, and these are the products we're going to use. I use this mixed media paper, just cut it out so that it'll fit in my binder, and that's the art journal I'm using this year. I thought today it would be really fun to use some foil on my art journal and card, and one of the benefits of having an art journal that the pages are separate and it's not bound in a book is that you can do techniques like this. And so we're going to do that today. I'm going to start out by just inking on a bunch of ink. I've chosen some greens here because they remind me of a parakeet. I have this beautiful ergonomic blending brush. I love this brush. It's really great for getting color on fast, especially large pieces like this art journal, and it really does go on pretty smooth if you start off the page and then lightly go on. So I am trying not to press hard, even though I'm also trying to ink this very quickly. So I start off the page. Sometimes I'll have a separate piece of paper next to me where I can just blot off the excess ink so that I don't get any harsh bristle lines or rounded lines like I did just there. But that's okay because we're going to cut off the edge of this one, so no worries on that. And I'm using the same blending brush for all three colors. I started off with the lightest color, which is the Twisted Citron. Then I went to Evergreen Bough, that's the center color, and now I'm doing Peeled Paint. I love these colors of green, and to put them all together was really fun. So you can see I got a little bit extra there, which is why I like to stamp it off usually. I don't know why I didn't do that in this video, but I was just trying to get the ink on quickly. So there we go. There is our inked background. I'm going to add a whole bunch of things to the top of this, so it's not really necessary to have a really nice inked blend for this because we are going to add so much. I did go ahead and take my microfiber cloth to kind of wipe off the ink off of that black toner there because we're going to foil that. So I wanted to make sure the foil could stick really well. So I used that microfiber cloth, and now I have this beautiful stencil. This is from Maker Forte. It's designed by Syberia, and it's a favorite of mine. And I'm going to use this with some transfer gel. Now, this transfer gel is only usable with some heat when you add the foil. They now have a transfer gel duo, which you can use with or without heat. So if you don't have a laminator or a MINC machine and you want to put foil on your art project, you can use it with the transfer gel duo, add it just like I'm adding it here, and then go ahead and add the foil. Once it dries, add the foil and put it through your die cutting machine, and that will do it. But today I'm using my regular transfer gel. I have to use this up before I get the transfer gel duo, and I'm going to use this with my MINC machine. So what you want to do is add that on, make sure it's as smooth as possible, which is why I use that Stencil Buddy or Stencil Pal, I think it's called, so I can get it nice and smooth. And now I'm going to wash off all of my tools and set that aside to dry. So while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and stamp out my sentiment. I'm using this Poppy Bloom and Grow stamp set from Maker Forte that says worry less and smile more, which heaven knows I need to do this year. So this is going to be a perfect sentiment for me. I'm going to stamp it out with my favorite black ink, which is this Remarkable ink from Maker Forte. I have just tried this year, and it has fast become my favorite because it dries so quickly. You can ink on it right away, and then you can also use Copic markers over it right away as well. So that's why I love it. So I'm going to use these smaller brushes and ink on some Wild Honey and Spice Marmalade here. I'm also going to add a deeper red with some Abandoned Coral, and that will color up our sentiment really fast and easy. Here we go, adding that Abandoned Coral now. And then I'm just going to fussy cut this out. I kind of cut pretty close to the words there, so we don't have a lot of color around the edges. I wanted that foil to show up the most. I'm going to work on the card now while we're still waiting for that Deco foil gel to dry. And I'm using this darker color of teal. This one is from Heidi Swapp's MINC foil. So this teal is from that one. The foil I'm going to use on the art journal is actually Deco foil, and it's their new Enchanted line. The glass slipper, I believe, is what it is. I'm just going to cut some foil for this to fit the paw print, and then I'm going to put it into some printer paper. Now I like to use this instead of using a carrier sheet because you're going to see that when you foil on this, some of that black comes off onto your paper. That will come off onto your carrier sheet as well. I know this because I've done it before, and I don't like that. So I like to use just some computer paper. I'm just using the bone folder to kind of loosen up that foil and make sure that it sticks really well. And then I can peel that up and look at how beautiful that foiled. It really did a great job on this toner paper, and it worked even though I inked over that paper in the beginning. I decided that evergreen bough needed to be a little darker, so I'm just going to add a little bit more here as well. Now to trim this down so that it's an A2 card size, I'm going to cut it to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And see those strips of paper there that I am cutting off? I'm saving those because I'm going to use one for the sentiment. So there we go, and I'm going to use this heart with the paw print as a part of the decoration on front. And I'm going to stamp it with 2 different shades of Catherine Pooler inks, Tutti Frutti and Orange Twist. The top is going to be the Tutti Frutti, so I'm just going to go ahead and ink that up. I'll take my microfiber cloth and just kind of soften up the edge here so that I don't get any harsh edges. I want this to kind of meld into each other so that there's a really nice diffused line. And once that color is stamped a couple of times, I'm going to go ahead and move forward with the Orange Twist the exact same way, using that microfiber cloth to diffuse the line and get a really good gradation. Once that is stamped, I'll go ahead and stamp the sentiment on that paper that I reserved from cutting off the panel. And this says Thinking of You. It's one of my favorite fonts right now for a sentiment. It's from this set here from Maker Forte as well. And I'll just stamp that in black ink. To put this card together, I'm going to cut out the center part of the heart here, so that I can nestle that sentiment right inside. In retrospect, if I had to do this over, I would just cut a slit there so that I could slide it through instead of trying to cut out the entire thing, because this did take me a few minutes. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and pop this entire thing up with some foam tape. I wanted to make the sentiment just a little darker though, so that it would pop up off the background, so I'm adding just a little more of those greens to the sentiment strip. So I popped all of that up with some foam tape, added it to the card, and then just cut off the excess from the sentiment there. And now I'll just glue it to the card base. I did cut this down a little bit extra, so there will be a little bit of white peeking out all around the edge. And that is our card. And now we'll go ahead and work on the art journal. Here's a little close-up first of all, so you can see that foil. How beautiful is that? What a fun card, and so simple to put together too. So the Deco foil gel is now dry, and so I'm cutting some of this glass slipper Deco foil here to fit right on. I'm trying to cut it straight this time. I didn't cut it so straight with the scissors, so I thought maybe an X-Acto knife and a ruler would help, and it really did. And I ran that through the MINC machine on a level 3, and now I'm going to take my bone folder, press that all in so that it will come off easily and hopefully turn into a very beautiful project. Here we go, peeling that off, and look at that. It is so pretty. I did get a little excess foiling because I got that Deco foil gel up here. So I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and get that off as best I can. I ended up taking a little of the inking off of the paper as well. So I'm going to add a little extra ink at the end, but that's okay. Now I'm going to take the stencil and I'm just going to tape off some of the paw prints because I thought it would be funny to have some paw prints in the background, like a cat is sneaking up on this bird or something. I thought it went along with the smile more, worry less sentiment. I don't know if that's coming through very well, but it does have meaning for me because I'm always worried something's going to happen. These cat paw prints represents that in the background. I started out inking it with some white ink, but that didn't show up very well, and so I ended up moving to some iced spruce distress ink, and that worked out much better. So it's still light in the background, but you have those paw prints of the cat sneaking up on the bird, and for some reason that really kind of struck a chord with me. I also love this parakeet because when we were kids, my dad loved having a parakeet all the time. We actually had at least 3 of them. One was named Rainbow, one was named Raindrop, and one was named Winky because he was periwinkle. And so we had 3 of them. My favorite was Raindrop. It was blue like this parakeet, and he was really fun and nice. He didn't ever bite me like the other 2 did. So I did end up cutting off a little bit of that white edging around this parakeet so that he would just sit directly on the wagon without having the white there. And now I'm going to glue the wagon directly down with some liquid adhesive, just real quick adding that, and then I'll cut off the excess wagon there and pop up the parakeet with some foam tape. If you've been watching my art journal videos for this year, you'll know that I started this because of my father who passed away last year, the day after Christmas 2020 from COVID. And this has been a way to help me process through some emotions I was having. Really had a tough time. The flowers do represent the memorial we just planted for him. We planted a garden of pansies at the Queen Creek Botanical Garden, which is a brand new place actually here in town. And we have a memorial for him. My dad grew up planting pansies and snapdragons with his granddaddy, and then he planted them with us as kids, and he also planted them with his grandkids. And when he passed away, he had pansies in his yard. So I know he would love this garden, and I'm really excited to see it again. There is a plaque that is going to honor him and his name. And so I'm excited because that plaque comes in a couple of weeks. So we'll be going back to see how his memorial garden is doing. So this and all the other art journals really do represent something about my dad. And it's going to be really fun for me to look back at this journal after this year. I did take my template that I made with the holes where I need to punch them. I just traced them on this one and punched them out. If you have a movable hole punch that you can do this with, then that would be so much easier, but I don't, so I just draw it on and add that there. So I'm finishing up the sentiment. I popped up the Worry Less, Smile More with some thin foam tape, and I just glued on the "and" with some liquid adhesive, and there is our art journal. Here is our card. I like to make kind of a matching pair every time I do an art journal. And so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and add that to my binder here. I think it looks really cute in this journal. That little raindrop parakeet, I'm calling him Raindrop. So there's both of our projects for today. I hope you enjoyed this foiling on an art journal and a card. If you did, please give my video a thumbs up. It really does help with YouTube. And I really enjoy all your comments and likes, and thank you so much for coming back again and again. I really do appreciate you. I will be back real soon with some more card inspiration. I've listed and linked all the products I've used below if you're interested, and I'll see you real soon. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.